So, why would you not study grammar at the start, and why would you focus on the emotional side of language initially? The issue is with language learning, we start with apps like Duolingo or we sign up to a language school and they start by teaching us grammar or the structure of a sentence. And by doing this, we're essentially starting with the boring stuff. And it comes with a promise that in the future, at some point, we'll be able to use this to our advantage and communicate with native speakers. Where the reality of that is that it can take a long time to learn the grammar. And with the grammar alone, it's a bit useless really to communicate with native speakers because it helps to assemble the words in the correct structure, but if you're not saying anything or getting any feedback or proof that what you're saying or what you're learning is actually useful in real life, then what will happen is you'll lose motivation because you'll be thinking, well, I'm learning all this, I'm putting all this effort into learning this language, but nothing's happening. So it's a bit like going to a gym, putting loads of effort in, not seeing your body change or your fitness change in any way, but you're still hungry every day. You're trying to reduce your calorie intake and you're spending a lot of time getting your body into shape, but you're not seeing anything. So, what's the solution to this? Well, first thing, don't start with grammar when you're learning a different language. Instead, start with ready made phrases. So, think of the scenarios that you'd like to learn a language for. So, for example, if you're an English person and you want to go to Spain on your holiday, can be any country, but I'm going to pick Spain for this example, and you want to be able to sit in a restaurant with your friends and you want to be able to ask and communicate with the waiter or waitress in Spanish. And you want to say things like, how much is this? Or is this spicy? Or even when you enter the restaurant, you might want to say, oh, can I have a table for six, please? Or similar things like that, where you need to know the numbers, a few different phrases, a few different questions. And obviously, when they respond to you, it's a good idea to understand what that might mean or in a situation. So think of it as if you're in England and someone says you walk into a restaurant and someone might say, have you got a booking? Then the answer could be yes, it's under my name, or no, could I have a table for four, or something like that, where you can sort of guess how the conversation structure would go in your native language. It's exactly the same for when you're abroad. So instead of learning the grammar, learn the phrase of I would like a table for six, please. And at this point, you don't need to know how it's constructed or why the words are in that particular order. All you need to do is get okay at pronouncing it. Just try and learn it a phrase at a time and pronounce it as well as you can do. If it's not perfect or it's sort of 50% accurate pronunciation, the worst that can happen is you turn up to a restaurant, you say it a bit off, but they get what you mean because in that context, they're expecting you to say something like that. So they're thinking, okay, he's mispronounced the word table, but I get what he means. I want a something for six, please. And you just turn up at restaurant. So obviously, that word probably means table. So even if you mispronounce the word, they can still understand what you mean by filling in the blanks based on the context. Most importantly, if you're losing motivation and you're a few weeks into learning a different language, it's most likely because you're not seeing the results from the effort you're putting in.